All right, Christian, thank you for that. We'll talk to you again soon. Hopefully that SpaceX launch is going to actually go off this morning. It looks like the weather is clear and they've got about 5 minutes left. Speaking of people who are down in Florida, we've got Ryan Schreiber with us, and he's actually not anywhere close to SpaceX, but you are in kind of the rocket ship of the 3PL space right now, right? TIACon 2023.
Yeah, I am relatively close to Cape Canaveral in Orlando. But also, I would go to space. I know that was questions going to come up, so I'm going to preempt it. And I tell my wife all the time, and every time I tell her I want to go to space, she starts crying. Because she says, if I go to space, I'm going to die. And I'm like, lots of people have gone to space and not died. What do you mean? So, Anthony, I'm with you. I want to go to space one way or the other, brother.
I'm glad I'm not alone. Kaylee, you going to space?
Absolutely.
We're all on board.
Sign me up right now. Let's go. I'll fly to Orlando and
Park. I'm there. Like, it's worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Well, Ryan, you are down in Orlando at TIACon, and the conference just got started. Yesterday was the reception. Today, the festivities really get going. Let's talk a little bit about the vibes. How does it feel? We're super excited, right?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that's, rates have obviously been deflationary, right? Like, and that was you guys were talking about that earlier. So there was a bit of an interesting kind of feeling coming into this. Hey, what was it going to be like? Were attendees going to come? There were definitely a lot of people who stayed home this year, who maybe historically have come. This is, I think, the 12th year that I've come in a row. But in general, like, the turnout has been bigger than ever. There's a lot of newer attendees, which is great. So there's a lot of optimism, a lot of excitement, and people had a lot of fun yesterday getting to know each other and networking and kind of like learning about each other's businesses, which is just always brings like a lot of energy.
And Ryan, as mentioned earlier, the festivities really just start kicking off now. What are going to be some of the themes that you're going to be looking for, or takeaways that you're looking to gain a little bit more insight from within the industry going into the upcoming quarter?
Yeah, there's a few, there's a few topics of conversation that are really top of mind. I have a panel here in a little bit. Shout out to me, just shameless plug. I got a panel here in a little bit that's talking about kind of like what to do in a deflationary market, what to do with your business, and how to think about the areas to invest in your business. M&A has still been a hot topic. What does the market look like? What does deal flow look like? Are deals going to accelerate? Are they going to slow down? Multiples have stayed relatively strong. So that's been interesting. There'll be a panel about that here also at 11 o'clock. And then technology, right? Like, one of the coolest things I think about the industry for as long as I've been coming to TIA has been this march toward technology and the conversations around technology. And when I think back even 7 or 8 years ago, maybe 2015 or so, it was business, it was sales, it was I was always going to the legal tracks because, as you guys know, and then it was almost, tell me why I don't need to worry about technology. And then it slowly started to become, okay, what do I need to know? What do I need to know? And now, right, I mean, the topic of conversation is always, how do I get the most out of my business with technology? And I think maybe it's gone a little too far on that vertical, but there's a ton of interest in technology. So those are really the three main talking points that's come up so far, and that we're excited to learn a little bit more about.
One of my favorite parts of conferencing is, of course, the expo floor. And last year when I was at TIA, it was almost a little overwhelming, right? So many folks in the booth, and so many of them focused on that tech aspect, specifically around, okay, marketing towards your business. We know that when the market gets tight, typically marketing budgets drop a little bit, and maybe you see a little bit less of their presence on the expo floor at a conference. But with that, is there anyone that you're really looking forward to checking out their booth and seeing what they have to offer and maybe how they've adapted in a slower market?
Well, I mean, certainly besides Metafora's booth, which is just going to pop off. So if anybody's watching this, definitely make sure you stop by our booth. Yeah, I tell our customers, there's two ways to think about it. Number one, the expo floor is absolutely great. You should go out there and take a look at some of the companies that are doing interesting stuff. I love Thai TMS right now. One of the things that I get asked all the time is, what TMS should I be on, and this, that, and the other. And every company has you need to go through a specific process to really understand what they need from a TMS. But I really like Thai, so I'm excited to spend a little bit of time with them at their booth. Green Screens AI, I'm super passionate about green screens and what predictive pricing can bring and does bring. So I'm really excited about spending some time with them. But I also tell folks, how technology fits in your business. If you see the opportunity to make technology a competitive advantage for you, the floor is just one place. There's a lot of companies here like Peruse AI or Vendor Flow or companies like that are not having a booth, but that are here that you want to network with, that you want to learn, so you can be on the front edge of adopting that technology and making that a competitive advantage for yourself.
And Ryan, speaking of competitive advantages, of course, we love freight tech here at FreightWaves. Well, when we're looking at the industry overall, of course, there have been some changes. Of course, we're looking at 2021, 22. There's an enormous amount of freight tech. As we go into 2023, and we're in this deflationary market, are there any segments within freight tech that you think are going to be a little bit more challenged just because you really need to be able to show your comparative advantage or competitive advantage because everyone is just kind of looking for, to differentiate themselves?
What's really interesting about that question is that normally when we have a deflationary market, the answer to that question would be super simple, Anthony, right? It would be capacity tools, right? Because in a deflationary market, capacity is loose, it's available, nobody cares, right? Like I can throw it up on a public board, it's going to get covered or whatever. But we are seeing our customers continue to invest both in people on the capacity side of the organization. I'll tell you that in the last couple of weeks, customers and just industry friends have been asking us pretty regularly about, do we know capacity leaders, and investing in that part of their business now. So, Anthony, the truth is too early to tell. Really what I would have expected from this market from a technology perspective, from what we've seen historically, has not been what's come to bear. So I think people are still trying to figure out, because this industry is newer in its technology journey. How do I think about the deflationary market and the technology I need in my business? The deal flows have slowed down a little bit, but the focus areas really haven't changed.
And then, of course, as soon as they figure it out, the market is just going to change again. Ryan, thank you for joining us this morning. Of course, people can catch your talk this afternoon. And also find you guys at the Metafora booth. Where's that one at?
Yeah, I don't know, somewhere on the floor, like maybe 410 or so. I probably should have been prepped for that, I should have expected that question. I didn't. But, I don't know, somewhere on the floor. Just, you'll see it.
Yeah, you'll see it. All right, Ryan, thanks for that. Have a good time on TIA, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks.
Right now, we're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back with more FreightWaves Now.